Morning everybody. Haven't done a video for a while and had a little project this morning. Karen needed a disc turned offset, and it's a fairly husky piece of maple that I've got. I've got a vacuum chuck, but I was a little concerned that maybe it might not hold this piece as well as I'd like it. So I thought I needed something a little more mechanical. I have a Vermec offset chuck that I bought a few years ago. Prior to there's a newer one now that moves and you can adjust in two positions. This one adjusts in one. But I figured if there was a way that I could attach my second chuck to the offset chuck, I'd be able to actually clamp the piece of wood and still get the offset I was looking for. And that's what I've done. I've got a still photo that shows the pieces, but right now I'll give you a look at how it looks when it's set for 0 offsets, nice and true, and then I'll set 12, I think it's 12 millimeters of offset, and show you what that looks like. So okay, I'm back. Got things pointed at the chuck assembly, and you can see there's a VM100 Vermec chuck on the headstock of the lathe. Then attached to that is the offset chuck, and then attached to that with the bit of tooling that I made is a one-way stronghold chuck, which I've got the piece attached to. And I'll flip the lathe on. I think it's set to run about 600 RPM. You can kind of get an idea of it runs fairly true. So let's take a look at it here. There it is. Full disclosure, it was off a little bit. So what I did was when I put the piece of wood back on, excuse me, I just went ahead and chewed it up a little bit, both the face and the outside edge. Didn't really take much. It runs pretty true, even with my minimal machining skills. So I'm going to shut it off now, and then I'm going to adjust for 12 millimeters of offset and show you what that looks like. I'll just leave the camera running so you can kind of see what's going on while I do that. So hang on. We are off. I will probably be in the way. 4 millimeter wrench to loosen up the offset chuck. Right there is the little indicator, shows 0 now, which it should be. So I'm going to loosen that up. You have to loosen it up quite a bit because it's a rounded set screw that actually centers the detent, which is coming up there past 4. There's 8, and there's 12. I'm going to tighten that back up. And the rounded set screw and the detent will pull everything back snug and true. Probably can't see it from arm. Pull it back in place. Snug things nice and tight. And now we're going to flip it back on, and you'll be able to see the offset. And I should be able to get the offset that I'm looking for in this piece doing that. So anyway, something you might consider for your own shop. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks for watching. Okay, it's me again. It's me behind the camera waving at you. Hi. Okay, I thought I would show you maybe exactly the parts I made to adapt a chuck to the Vermec offsetting chuck and show you what the pieces look like. So what we have is we have a Vermec chuck right there, and we have Vermec VM100 chuck here. You can use any chuck. Vermec just kind of has the dovetail, and as does the back of the Vermec chuck. First thing is this guy that the chuck comes with can be removed by sticking a 5 millimeter wrench, Allen wrench in there, and you can just release that. You can see that the threads are coming up. Get that out of there. Get that out of the way. I'll set it off so I don't lose it. They send you 2 in case you lose it. Got this guy back. Next thing, I need a piece of M10 1.5 all thread, or in my case, I happen to find a stud that will work fine. And I put a couple of wrench flats on it so I can get it in and get it out. So it just goes in place. The screw chuck to get out I'm not going to tighten it up because I'm not going to do anything with this, but put a 8mm wrench on there. That's what threads that I made work for 8mm, and that goes on the stud to tighten it up so it won't move. Then the stud can go, or the chuck can go on in expansion mode. Chuck on your lathe. There it is. Now, what I did was I have a adapter that goes, in my case, from M33 3.5 to 3/4 10, and the 3/4 10 is what's on the one-way tail live center for the tailstock, and it's used to align. If you take a piece off, you can unscrew the whole thing. You can screw this, I guess I should say, into a chuck that's got a piece on it, put it on your live center, and it's a great way to line it up on a vacuum chuck because it'll keep things perfectly centered. They also have a number of other uses, one of which is this. This is a piece of 3/4 10 all thread that I cut to length. It's just a little short, being the full length of the adapter, and I put it on my little metal lathe and drilled a hole in the center of it that just fits over M10. And the way that works is it threads into the center, the adapter, and let me run quickly over here and get a tool to tighten this up. Make sure you put a couple of wrench, or I should say, not screwdriver, biter spot. I'm sure there's a more technical term. You can see it there. We can get a hold of it and turn that in. Then slips onto the stud, washer, whoops, a nut, lock the and in this case I think it's a 17mm wrench. Now you can put your chuck. This adapter would be for whatever size thread you have. Like I said, mine's M33. You can put a chuck on there, and then you can do the adjustment for the offset, just like you would if you had a piece of wood threaded onto the nut. Thanks for watching.